For some reason, a lot of artists feel like their music is enough for them to blow. You need to approach music as a business. You need to approach music as a CEO. You need capital. Always remember, talent gets you noticed, funding gets you seen, and then strategy keeps you relevant. It's a crowded industry. Every day, people are dropping music. And for you to be ahead of the curve, to be in front of the line, to get the attention of people, you need money. Good day, everyone. My name is Mr. Ben, and today I will be talking about one of the biggest realities in the music industry, and that is funding.
We're in a weird stage where the talent can be great, but if it doesn't have the support, the funding, it might not get the just due that it needs, because no matter what, I don't care what nobody say, there's not an artist in the history of music that has not been funded. Michael Jackson was funded. Aretha Franklin was funded. Whitney Houston was funded. Alicia Keys was funded. Somebody somewhere said, I'm going to blow them up. It was intentional. It wasn't oh, they really can sing. They should be big. And they were big. No, somebody decided to put money into them. That's never going to change. It takes a lot of money to make a star.
Troy, how much does it?
I mean, shoot, for real, from a brand new artist to get to stardom, at least $2 million. I'm being nice. To really radio, playlisting, wardrobe, concerts, travel, songs, producer, the best song, and pay for it. Pay writers. Let's get the writers paid.
Let's get the writers paid.
Why is the producers paid and the writers are not? They the ones that's a whole nother subject. Anyway, it takes money to invest and really build this artist up.
Just say you're trying to just push the hell out of 2 singles.
Maybe 300,000.
In Nigeria.
And tomorrow it might change. A song like Calm Down Now, we probably spend close to $4 or $5 million to get it to where it is. You understand? So, but then the song has to be showing the traction.
That's to show promise.
So the major reason why I played the previous videos, one from a US market and the other one from a Nigerian market or an Afrobeat market or an African market moving international. The numbers are not small numbers, and I don't want you to think those numbers are inflated, because these are real industry players. These are people that have made their mark in the industry, and you can say, hey, I don't have that kind of money. I don't have that kind of budget. Does that mean I can't put out music? So even if you don't have that kind of resources or funds available for you as an artist or a record label owner, it shouldn't stop you from doing something, right? But this is the mentality I need everybody to work with. You need to approach music not just as a talent or a gift or a passion industry. It's heavily funded. You need to approach music as a business. You need to approach music as a CEO, right? Because picture yourself as a baker. No matter how good you are baking cakes, or you bake the best cakes, and everybody that have tasted your cake is like, wow, this cake is amazing. If you really want to grow that business or start that business, you need money. And you need money, number one, to get you the ingredients that you need to bake the cake. You need to get an oven. You need to get a shop. You need to pay your staff. Even if you're the only person, you need to figure out how to get the word out there that you're baking cake, and that's marketing right there. And that's a CEO mentality. And you need to push your product. You need that investment to come in. You need the resources. You need the funding. You need the capital. That's the word I was looking for. You need capital. And when I speak to artists and they send their songs to me, hey Baba, hear my song. Oh, see my, they listen to me, and I ask, okay, what's your budget? How much do you have? What are we looking at? And trust me, 9 out of 10 times they don't come back to me, or that's where the relationship or the conversation ends. It just dies a natural death, because for some reason a lot of artists feel like their music is enough for them to blow, or their music or their talent is enough for people to hear them, and then people will like them, and then they'll become the next Rema or the next Flavor or the next Davido or Wizkid. As beautiful as that dream is, in today's market, not just today's market, you need funding. And I'm going to break it down in the course of this video. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. That way you leave knowing that the mentality or the approach has to be from a place of business and not just a place of talent. So always remember, talent gets you noticed, funding gets you seen, and then strategy keeps you relevant. You need those key elements for you to not just grow or scale in the industry, but to also stay relevant in the industry. So this is one thing I want you to, take away out of all this. Talent gets you noticed, which is great, but you need funding to make you seen. You need funding to give you that spotlight because it's a crowded industry. Every day, people are dropping music. And for you to be ahead of the curve, to be in front of the line, to get the attention of people, you need money, you need capital, you need resources to be put in. And then strategy comes in as well, because if you put money the wrong way, you're just going to be throwing money away. You have to strategize on the best plan of action for how that money will be spent. And strategy also keeps you. Strategy is what separates a good artist from a great artist, because you need the right team to be able to strategize and understand your market and able to sell your market with that resources. Another very important reason why funding is a major issue is funding creates quality, right? With the right kind of resources, with the right amounts, with good funding, you are able to get a solid producer, you are able to get a solid songwriter, you're able to playlist your song, you're able to pitch your song, you're able to scale on a level where other people are struggling, and then you bring out something that sets you apart. And I'll use Davido. He's somebody that inspires me a lot because he has the funding and he also has the strategy. Most people don't know that Davido's first official video that we know was heavily funded. He used the best producer at the time, he used the best videographer at the time, he used the best he featured Nato C, and that was Nato's prime season. There was still strategy behind it, but funding was also a major part of it. The likes of Flavor that we see now is still funding his career. So one of the key reasons why funding is essential is because funding creates better products, right? I always tell people, when you have the right funds, you're able to afford the best of the best, right? So if you have, say, a 400k naira to produce a song, and somebody has a 10 million naira to produce a song, there are higher chances of you getting a better music production, better mixing and mastering, visuals, music videos to push, to even market it. Even your live performances would be different if you have a higher budget. So funding is very important. Funding is key. Just like your business, you have to understand that music is not just an art. You are an artist, but an artist needs funding. They need capital to flip, to make their art, to bring that artistry, to bring that talent into fruition, to make people see it and enjoy it and buy it as a product. One of the things I tell people is, you've made your major breakthrough the first time somebody calls your phone or your manager's phone and wants you or the artist to perform somewhere, or they are buying your product, you're able to sell your product. That's your biggest breakthrough, because right now you're not just it's no longer fun and games, it's now business. It has now turned to a 360 kind of a system or a setup. So saying all this to say that funding creates better product. And another important thing that people don't really talk about more, I feel like people ignore the fact that funding buys time. So if you need my attention and you pay me a certain amount, I'm always going to give you value for that time. And even the artists themselves, they are not consistent, because some artists need to hustle. They have another job, their main job in some cases, where that's how they are able to afford to do music. If you have the resources, it buys the time. You're less concerned, you're less worried about getting money from somewhere else. And then if you have the right funds, you can afford the best set of people, right? You have a good artist manager, you have a good makeup artist, you have the right set of people around you have professionals around you, and they are able to make better decisions for you. So yes, you need money, and if you don't have money right now, that's not the end of the world. Just know that at some point you need to think about it like a business. I'm going to wrap this up by just trying to touch on that question and the $100 million question, and that is, how much do I need to blow as an artist in Nigeria? Don Jazzy said a minimum of $100,000, and I 100% believe him. But if you don't have $100,000, it doesn't mean you can't start something or you can't start somewhere. I think the primary focus for you would be leveraging on your connections and building a fan base. If you can build a fan base, trust me, you have managed to save 40 to 30% of what you're going to need the funding for. And by building a fan base, I mean being consistent, making sure that when you put out something, there's high engagement. So your music does not just go into thin air. You have 50 followers and you're trying to put up an album. You're not ready. You're not serious. You have 10 likes, 5 shares. You have 0 activity on your page. You have 0 engagement on your social media page, because we're in the social media era, right? People don't know you and you're working on an album. You're just trying to save yourself the stress of losing money by just throwing that money away, because that music is not going to be heard. No matter how good your song is, you need funds to create that attention. If the likes of Jay-Z and Drake are still doing pre-album marketing strategy that is costing them millions, and they already have that fan base, they already have the traction, and then think about yourself as a small scale business. You still want to push in your own little way. You still want to create that awareness, right? You still want people to know that you dropped something. You still want the quality of what you dropped to be maybe not on a Jay-Z level, but on a very, very acceptable, industry acceptable level. It's not whack. It's not a terrible sound. It's not terrible video. It could still be played. It could still be heard amongst your peers. So look at it from that business perspective. And if you still have questions, concerns, or you just wanted to say something as regards this, please feel free to send me a DM or interact on my page. Have a good one. Bye.